And there is this thing in our culture, right? Black culture. It's I want to talk about the sexual thing, sexual orientation, sexual preference, sexual, pretty much sexual orientation and preference. Um, you know, when it comes to judgment, like I'm still gonna talk about judgments and people projecting their own limitations or traditional thought patterns into someone else's behavior. It's like, let's say, in a culture, every man that was born into that culture, like literally everyone, or mostly everyone, because you have to leave a certain person out. Let's say 99.99% of every man or every male that was born into a certain community has chosen to be polygamous, right? And in another tribe or society, like close to that community, 99.99% of all the male that were born into that community chose to be polygamous, right? And in another community, in a third community, right? 99.99% of the males chose to be homosexual, right? And now they have three, right? People, like three kinds of people. It's like in their minds, like when let's say they have a council, the council of the three tribes of these three tribes that I just mentioned. When they are discussing in their thought patterns, in their mental data, or traditional records of sexual life and sexual orientations, they don't have any other data that supports that a male can be born and not give a fuck about anyone. The truth is kind of shocking, right? But in this council, elders, sages and everything, like they discussing, like, let's say they have a kid who was born into like one of these communities. And the kid seems like, sometimes it gives kind of like polygamous vibes, right? Sometimes it gives monogamous vibes. Sometimes people even think he's homosexual because they don't see him like with any like woman, right? And in the kid's mind, it's like, y'all really have no idea that I really don't give a damn about like this life at all, like the sexual life. It's like, and I'm pretty sure this happened to a lot of people, a lot of kids, teenagers, like young adults in this age right now. If they have certain orientation that really, really bothers people that are used to a certain patterns, traditional societal patterns or civilizational patterns. It's like, oh, you're male, right? You're supposed to have a woman. Some people say one woman. Some people say you can be polygamous. Not one of them even ask the male, what you want to be? What you want to do? Like, you feel me? They just come and just project. Like, you look like this. You're a male. This is what you should be doing. They don't even like come and conceptualize that, oh, that's a new person right here. I should not enforce the traditional way of doing things into that person because it doesn't display any of our known behaviors. You feel me? It's like, oh, okay. And even if it projects those behaviors, it's kind of hard to put them in one box. I don't judge people for going by the traditional routes of, judging someone like if he's not black, he's white. If he's not white, he's yellow. If he's not yellow, he's, I don't know. Because I get it, I get it. We go by the data that we have traditionally, right? But what about the new data? What about the guy or the woman that comes and they say, I would like to, be monogamous, but I don't see any, like, anyway, I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm out. It's like they can take that. And once you meet a person like that, you're like, like, who the hell do you think you are? Are you rejecting us? Are you rejecting the traditions? The elders, the ancestors, the traditional way of doing things? Are you, who are you to think you can, do things in your own way? It's like you can have your own mind, like you can't. It's like, who are you to think that you can have your own mind and do things according to your own logics, wisdom, knowledge, right? Etc. It's like, I don't know, man. For me, it's too funny. It's really funny. It's funny. Because if those three councils that I took the example, that I made the example, right? If those three councils could only go back to their own forgotten historical records, they would find so many individuals, right, that had been, right, outside, right, of their present traditional way of boxing and labeling people. I don't know. It's always like a difficult conversation when a black individual or a dark-skinned individual is talking to other dark-skinned individuals about a mentality that is so elevated, and that this single individual know that the other individuals have the right to incorporate and can incorporate. I'm not talking about someone who doesn't care about sexual orientations and wants to force that on other people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone that chooses or has the power to look at all the options and say, all right, cool, I'm not choosing any of y'all. It's like this person is trying to say to y'all, you can choose to not choose. If all the possibilities if like neither of the possibilities reaches your standard, then like it's wiser to alright, cool, like peace out, like we'll talk later, like respectfully, we talk like, alright, cool, we talk later. Because I've seen it when a male chooses that is like when a guy gives okay, firstly, when a guy is attractive, when a guy is knowledgeable, when a guy is self-aware, if he has those three traits of characters, he's self-aware, he's attractive, and he's very knowledgeable, people tend to be like, he's a ladies' man. Like, of course he's a ladies' man, but what about his own thought patterns? Like, what about his own mentality? What about what he wants to do? What about, like... Anyway, what about he just, he has his own standards? What about his what about his being himself right now? And you're not letting him because you think, if he's not monogamous, he's polygamous. You know? If he said he doesn't want to be monogamous, then most definitely is going to the polygamous route. Because you just can't think, you just can't insert into your mind that this individual can just say, I'm not gonna be neither monogamous, neither polygamous, because none of these options really suit me. Because what I'm trying to do here, it's, with all due respect, we'll talk later. It's funny to me, like, it's really funny, y'all. Peace out, y'all. I hope you get the fucking message.